Good morning, my peoples. That's right. It is Monday morning, October 13th, 2025. It is 9 a.m., and we are going to be discussing everything that happened, well, most things that happened in week 6 for your fantasy football teams. We had some surprises, we had some injuries, we had some poor football performances over there overseas. So we're going to talk all that and more. So, guys, I'll see you over there. Get your coffee ready, get your cold brew ready, and let's get started to talk about fantasy football.
You're watching Cold Brews and Hot Takes, only on Fantasy Now Plus.
Good morning, my peoples, and I'm hoping that you're having a great morning. Myself, just to peel back the curtain a little bit, it is 9:01 a.m. My kids get to school about an hour ago. That's usually when I drop them off. 8 a.m. is the latest time, and the temperature dropped here in Tampa, Florida, down to 62 degrees, I believe, when I woke up. And currently it's 66 degrees. So girls got their Uggs on. Us guys have our hoodies on. We got the beanies rocking. We got the everything. Look, when in California when it rains, people lose their mind. When it drops below 70 degrees here in Tampa, it's anarchy. It's literal anarchy. So of course we were late, running around, but guys, I'm glad to be here with you guys today to talk fantasy football. Before I get started on this beautiful show, I do want to let you know where to find us. You can find us at fantasynowplus.com, where you can find our rankings, our waivers, our articles, much, much more. Join our Discord, chat.fantasynowplus.com, where you can get instant access to guys like myself, girls like Charlene, guys like Brian, guys like Justin, the staff, of course, and plus everyone else that joins the Discord as well. And the Finns Talk Sports Network. I know they're not doing well over there. I know when Darren Waller scored that last touchdown with a minute to go, they thought they had this thing wrapped up. All I could think about was, wow, you guys gave Justin Herbert way too much time. And unfortunately, the Miami Dolphins did take an L again this Sunday. Oh, man, what a boring week. What a boring week, man. It was a boring, boring week. Nothing happened and everything happened all at the same time. You had surprises at the top. You had players leave early, which gave you some bad fantasy points, and you had Mr. Mahomes showing up to cap it off on a Sunday night. Perfect, perfect. You had the opening weekend, the opening kickoff with Bustin Fields and Bo Nix. Right, Bo Nix is supposed to be good. He is good. He's fine. But Bustin Fields on the other side, we all had doubts. We all think most of us think he's a good fantasy football quarterback. Some of you still think he's a good NFL quarterback, but the reality is he's not an NFL. I'm going to say this the nicest way I can put it so I don't get canceled. He's not an NFL quarterback. He's clearly not. Now, the New York Jets are a mess. No matter what you do, they are a mess. If the Cleveland Browns did not exist in this world, if the Cleveland Browns it's just poof disappeared and there was only 31 teams, the New York Jets would be looked at as the most embarrassing franchise in NFL history. And they are. Everything they do is snake bitten. Everything they do just blows up in their face, and they can't have anything nice. I'm curious to see what's going to happen when Garrett Wilson does leave and how dominant he's been over there, and to see if he actually does find a better team and puts up superstar, megastar numbers like he should. Um, but with 45 yards passing in the air, busting, that's not going to get it done. That's almost as bad as Pee Wee football level busting. If you traded for Bustin Fields recently, I'm sorry. If you started Justin Fields this weekend, I'm sorry. I did. I mean, right? You have to with the rushing upside. He didn't have any space. He did that whole listen. This was London games, overseas games are not fun. They're not fun. I'm sure they're fun for the fans over there. Spreading the game out is great. I'm not old. I am old, but I'm not the old man who's yelling about the halftime show, or I'm never going to yell about the halftime show. I'm never going to yell about expanding the game. I'm never going to yell about getting more people into the game. I'm not. It's idiotic. People I listen to the radio, I listen to people, oh, wrestling's on ESPN. This is a joke. This is a travesty. This is terrible. Blah, blah, blah. Why I don't want to hear wrestling stuff on my. You're getting more viewers to ESPN. People like myself who I truly have not watched ESPN since I was in high school. It's the lowest form of all media, ESPN. But therefore I have to watch it because WWE's on there. It brought another viewer there. That's why we do these things. London games to expand the game, to grow the game so we have a better product, we hope. That doesn't have to do with fantasy, right? But it kind of does because we have superstars like Brees Hall, superstars like Garrett Wilson, superstars, I use quotes, Bustin Fields, who can get it done on the ground. Well, not so much in the air. We have superstars on the other side as well. Cortland Sutton, J.K. Dobbins, Bo Nix, all kind of had a very, very mediocre kind of game. And it's because of the London aspect of it. It's because of the overseas. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to fix it. I don't think you can fix it. I think we are imagine that. They bring cricket over here or whatever they play over there. I apologize. Whatever they play, soccer, right? We already have a bad product of soccer here in America. We have MLS, Major League Soccer, I believe. I'm not sure. Couldn't tell you. But I know that we have the Tampa Bay Rowdies. I know they're a thing. I don't know if they're minor league. I don't know if they're MLS. I don't know. But the problem is, or not the problem, the point is, nobody's going to watch these soccer games here in America because it's a bad product. The NFL can overcome that over there. But if the NFL had a league over there and all of it was just a bad product, I'm pretty sure the Englishmen or the Australians or wherever the games are played, nobody's going to go see it because it's a bad product over there. I don't know what it is. But we're going to get to some of your comments. So if you have comments, please throw them in the section. Drop a like. We do have a couple of you watching right now, waiting for you guys to come on in here into the coffee cafe, as you say. Hope you have your cold brew ready because we're about to get into the injuries because we did have some major injuries. But first, we have Basherver. Bro, my starting receivers this week were Devontae Adams, Michael Pittman, Drake London. People that are on paper some of the best wide receivers in the receiver room you could have, at least in my opinion, and they just pull a stinker. But I am getting Rice and George Kittle back next week. Listen, man, that could be true. Last year in my home league, I had an all-time great team. All-time great. But when everyone gets hurt and everybody performs on different weeks, when T. Higgins puts up 31 week and Devontae Adams, they all got to mesh together. It's so frustrating, but stick with the process. That's a phenomenal team, great core. Not going to, knock that core whatsoever. Michael Pittman's kind of overachieving this year. This was more of the Michael Pittman I expected coming into the season. Not saying that he can't continue to be great, but Michael Pittman is someone I have been off for a while now. But he has been for a wide receiver 3, of course. That's money. And you're getting Rashee Rice back. You're going to be fine. One loss isn't going to kill you. Injuries, by the way. Speaking of the Colts, Anthony Richardson broke his orbital bone during pregame warmups. How are you going to get hurt when you're not even the starter? That's wild. Poor guy, honestly. Sorry for you, Anthony Richardson. Broke your orbital bone. We won't be seeing you anytime soon because Daniel Jones is a baller. Imari DeMarcado, second quarter ankle injury. I thought it was the push or the shoulder bump that maybe have injured him. $100,000 fine, ridiculous. He's been injured. Marvin Harrison Jr. concussion protocol, unfortunate. That means he may miss next week. Puka Nacua, ankle injury, but did come back into the game. You don't want to see that. That was obviously his worst performance of the weekend. Garrett Wilson was playing through an injury throughout the game, unfortunately. This is a big one. Tampa Bay lost another weapon. They're down Bucky Irvin. They're down Mike Evans. They're down Chris Godwin. They're down Jalen McMillan. Now they're down rookie sensation Emeka Mbuka with a hamstring. We'll continue to monitor that. Make sure you check our website and our Blue Sky and our socials to keep up with that news. Calvin Ridley left the game with a hamstring. David Njoku, knee injury, which is going to open things up for Harold Fannin, the tight end 12 right now. So that was where your injuries, some big ones, some huge ones to monitor throughout the week. I'm so sick of injuries. I'm so sick. Like George Kittle, he's been out the entire season. Hopefully he comes back next week and balls out. Basher says, I won fantasy this week because Cam Scatterboo and Patrick Mahomes. I already won because they have no players playing today. That right there, when your players underperform and you still can get a win, that's beautiful. That's magic. That happened to me in my home league. Judkins screwed up. I started Mac Jones over Jackson Dart. I did a couple things where I shouldn't have done, but I still came out with I need Odunze to score 11.6 tonight. So I'm already counting that as a win. How say you guys? Great transition. How say you? What do you need to win your matchup tonight? Because we will be getting into both Monday night games tonight pretty soon after we get through a couple stinkers and some good players to talk about. But what do you need to win your matchup? I need Odunze to score 11.6 to win my home league matchup, which is the most important matchup of the week for me. I have Tez Johnson, so I hope he starts. How do you have Tez Johnson? I want to know. I want to know how you, I guess, because when Godwin was out, Shepard was probably already picked up and you picked Tez Johnson. Smart. Very smart. Always stay ahead of the curve. That is a smart move right there. He will probably get a start next week. I don't know how long Emeka is going to be out. I'll keep you guys posted, though, as I'm actually an Oregon Ducks fan. All right. Right on. See, I need to watch college football so I can get in the know. A proud Tez owner in Dynasty. Look at you guys. Look at you guys. It's great. I'm not. I'm the Emeka roster manager, and I have no backup. So I'm kind of in the loop right here. Out of the loop, unless you guys want to help me out. 1-5 is my record now because I basically won this week. Hey, it just starts with 1, and then we continue. Oh my gosh, guys, that's gonna go off. Did you hear the fire alarm? That's gonna go off the entire time. So what I'm gonna do, I might lose some viewers, and Justin's gonna crush me. I'm gonna put everyone on hold while I go get rid of that thing. All right, I'll be right back. Like 30 seconds. I'm mute. Thank you. I just complained about my smoke detector. If anyone knows why I have to change my batteries every month, please let me know. And if I need to buy a smoke detector, which I've never done, they've always come installed in my house. Do I need to buy a new one? Because it beeps every hour. I change the batteries and then boom, beep again. Do I need to buy a new one? Is that a thing? Do we go on Amazon.com, search up smoke detectors? I don't know what to do. All right. Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is a super stud, and I'm glad somebody, good morning, Zach, by the way, drinking hot coffee. I went to Starbucks today. I got myself a regular cold brew, some creamer in it. So good morning to you, Zach. Basha is lucky for me. My team is facing next week. Used to be a top team, but now is on a downward spiral, and I'm getting some of my best players back. Yes. That's what happens. You follow the process. You keep your good players. The players that are on top, that aren't making moves, that aren't ready for waivers, that are not ready for the injuries, they're going to fall down. And everyone here watching, not just myself, but watching everyone, all the content creators, you're in the loop. You know what to do with these people 5-0, 6-0. They're at the top right now. They're cocky. They're arrogant. They're not checking the news as much. They're going to fall. Patrick Mahomes, man, balled out again. I need to put some. Last Monday we learned about, we did learn about cold brews. That's right. I'm going to continue the education. That's the whole goal of the show. This ain't to talk fantasy football. This is to help you guys out with your coffee, fire alarms, and anything else we could talk about. But Mahomes has been on a tear this year. People have some explaining to do. People got some apologizing to do. I remember last year we did our award show, and I fought tooth and nail to say Patrick Mahomes is the most consistent fantasy player from 2024, and he was. And I won that award. I won it for Mahomes. Topher was if you watch the show, if you watch our network, Topher is a host of the show. He gave me the win. Mahomes is the most consistent player in fantasy. Now he's one of the best. And honestly, he never fell off that far. Since way back when, his magical year when he took over the league, his first ever fantasy points per game season, he scored 26.7 fantasy points per game. That's phenomenal. That's awesome. This year, he's at 24.8. Not quite to where he was when he threw 50 touchdowns, but he's right there in the elite status. Right now, he's currently sitting at the quarterback one. And he was being underdrafted and disrespected because he didn't have a receiver. He didn't have this. His numbers have fallen off. And I didn't understand it. We had people in the offseason say Patrick Mahomes is past his prime. It was kind of disrespectful. Mahomes heard all that. He had to have, because he is on not a historic run, but he's on a run that he hasn't had in about 4 to 5 years. Last year, he averaged 18.4 fantasy points per game, which was 11th best in the NFL. He was still a starting quarterback, and you all, not you guys, but everyone denounced him. He's washed. The year before that, also 18.4 fantasy points per game. He was quarterback 10. Again, we all announced that he was washed. He's never going to do this again. He's not elite. That's what we were being told. Well, this year he's putting everyone to shame. He's shutting everybody up. He's on a tear, like I said, and he's getting Rashee Rice back this week. Travis Kelce, not going to say he's found the fountain of youth, because if he did, he'd be scoring 20 to 30 points consistently, but he is contributing out there. Hollywood Brown has been a revolution for this team. Yes, he's not putting superstar numbers up like a Puka Nacua or like a Devontae Adams or like these guys, but he's contributing enough to put Patrick Mahomes in the top half of the quarterback rankings or statistics. So everything's coming together for this football team. They have no run game. Patrick Mahomes is the run game there. They have no run game. Patrick Mahomes is an instant start until he retires. I've been saying this from the beginning, and I promise you guys, he's not going to let you down this year. You can start him in confidence without a doubt. If you're in a super flex league and you've been benching him or you're scared of him, I don't know why. I don't know what you're waiting for. We've seen 6 weeks of this now. He's not going to slow down. Josh Allen could potentially pass him tonight if Josh Allen has a monster game on Monday Night Football. But that being said, even if he does, Patrick Mahomes is still up there as the top 1 or 2 quarterbacks in this league. Start without caution, for sure. Should I keep Tez on my bench? See how it goes? Yeah, why not? I mean, we have to wait to see what's going to happen with Amuka and everybody else. When's Mike Evans coming back? When's Chris Godwin going to be fully healthy? They should have never rushed him back. That was stupid. That was irresponsible. But again, the reason why Chris Godwin is in this position to begin with, if you don't remember, it was a night against Baltimore with like 30 seconds to go or a minute to go. Buccaneers were down multiple scores, had no chance, and Todd Bowles elected to keep his starters out there. Therefore, that's why Chris Godwin got hurt on a meaningless play that meant nothing. That being said, now we're in this position where we're at now. Chris Godwin was on a historic run, probably the running back or wide receiver one that year. Todd Bowles said, you know what? We're going to keep our starters in because I want pain. Stupid. Lad McConkey. I was on this network Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and Sunday. And I believe all of those shows, I said the same thing very consistently. Lad's going to eat this week. He's playing Miami. I'm not a Lad guy. I'm not a Lad truther. I think Lad is very average at best. I think Lad is one of the most average cookie cutters, down the middle receivers that we're going to have in this game for a long time. He's going to have games like this, 7 catches, 100 yards, 1 touchdown. That's great. but the majority of them are going to be the 6 catches for 70 yards, and he just gets you 11 points. That's fine. Great wide receiver 2. Great wide receiver 2. You'd almost say kind of a flex play. He has games like this because he's playing Miami. And on top of that, what did I say? What did I say at the showdown? Wednesday, go back. The Wednesday showdown I had with Justin. By the way, he's out the rest of the week. He's in Paris. He texted us this morning, 6 a.m. He arrived, and he's on his way to Italy. He's going to go have spaghetti or something. I don't know what he's going to do. Good for him. But I did say this. The question was Vidal or Haskins. And I said, neither. It's going to be Ladd. Ladd's going to be used as the extension of the run game. Well, it was Vidal as well. Vidal also had a day, but Ladd also had a day. And that didn't hurt that QJ was out. These are all conditions that Ladd needed to put up the 23 fantasy points. If you roster Ladd and you need help, right now is the time to strike. After this show, if none of my league mates see this or watch this, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to move Ladd if I have him. Because this is probably, and I know it's early on in the season, but we can't keep on saying it's early on in the season. This might be his best game of the year. This might have been his best game of the season. That sounds ridiculous, but it's not. QJ is not going to be out forever. They're going to fix the running back situation. It's going to get colder. They're going to throw the ball less. Guys, I'm telling you, this is Ladd's best game of the season. Trade him while you can. His next games are Indianapolis, Minnesota, Tennessee. Indy and Tennessee are plus matchups. Minnesota is definitely not. So you might want to hold him for that Indy game if you want to add on to the value of his trade, but I would try to get it done now. I would try to get it done 1 week before the Minnesota game. That's just my perspective on that. Oh, on to the bad players. Because we have 2 Monday night games. I don't want to go too long on these. I don't want to go too long on these at all. But I already roasted Bustin. I don't think that there's 1/3 of the season way through this. One third of the way through season day. Yeah. Listen, JR. Like, what are the trends? Like, we should know what the trends are now by teams. We should know what a team's going to do, what they're going to execute, who they're going to target, who they're going to feature. We should know this by now. There's no more questions. There's no more, is it going to be this guy or this guy? Is Jordan Blue going to be a thing, or is Javonte? We know these things. We've seen what Ladd's role is with Keenan Allen, with Quentin Johnson, and with Omari and Hampton there. We've seen it. We've also seen Miami give up 1,000 yards to Rico Dowdle, 1,000 yards to James Cook, and now 1,000 yards to Kimal Vidal. These are all trends. We've seen the Miami Dolphins can't cover nobody. This was the easiest smash for Ladd you're ever going to have. Ever. I don't think Ladd ever puts these numbers up again this season. I may be wrong, and I'll be here to tell you I'm wrong. You guys know I am. I'm very honest. I'm not one of these guys who just brush my losses under the carpet. That's not me. But I'm telling you guys, as long as QJ is there and they play a tougher team that's not Miami, Ladd's not going to have a better game than this. He's just not. Go look at his game log last year. He put up way more wide receiver 3 numbers than he ever did wide receiver 2 or 1. That was last year when he was the guy, right? Now he's not the guy. He's kind of like second or third fiddle. Oh, man. So bad players. I don't want to get on too bad about these bad players, but Bustin Fields, obviously the worst quarterback of the week. Cooper Rush had negative 0.1 points, which is, it's so bad in Baltimore. I don't know how they're going to fix that. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to help them. We all had more fantasy points than Cooper Rush, by the way, all of us. So congratulations to us. That deserves a sip of our cold brew. Not as bitter today as it was yesterday, but negative 0.1 points for Cooper Rush. That experiment has to end. Man, that's so bad. Dylan Gabriel fell down to earth, 16.1 fantasy points last week, but had 8.8 this week. That's going to happen. He's going to have his up and downs. But here's the big thing. Tua Tagovailoa, 9.6 fantasy points. His press conference after the game was alarming, stating that some players are late to player-only meetings. They don't show up to player-only meetings. Dolphins are in shambles. And if you're sitting here on the Fins Talk Sports Network watching me right now, you know this. You know they're in shambles. I don't have any confidence in starting Mr. Tua Tagovailoa ever again. Unfortunately, unless it's a plus matchup. And the last one, Matthew Stafford. Again, if you've listened to me on this network all last week, I was a big guy on Matthew Stafford this week. He really, really, really did not show up at all. 9.3 fantasy points. I apologize to everybody who I told you to start him. Honestly, this was a smash start. Baltimore can't stop the pass. Stafford's coming off of 2 25+ week games, and then all of a sudden he lays an egg, 9.3 fantasy points. So I apologize. I apologize for that. That's on me, guys. But again, come on, were you really benching him? Like, was anyone in the world, if you've benched Matthew Stafford this week, throw it on Blue Sky. Actually, text it to me. I'll give you I'm not going to give you my number. But if you're in my Discord, I will. If you're in my Discord, I'll give you my number. I don't care. I want to see these screenshots. Whoever benched Stafford, because I know you didn't, and you're a liar if you say you did. Jahmyr Gibbs, 7.5 fantasy points last night against a tough Kansas City Chiefs defense. Breece Hall, 5.9. He's just up and down. Weeks 2, 3, and 6 were a disaster. Weeks 1, 5, and 4 were pretty good. So up and down with him. I guess he goes with the offense. If they're up, he's going to be good. If he's down, he's going to be ungood. And Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, both 4.7 fantasy points. It's becoming a trend where the answer to who should I start is nobody. It's nobody. It's try to find somebody else. It's bad. It is bad over there. Wide receiver position. Oh man, Puka. I mean, we can't. He left the game. He left the game hurt. So I'm not going to trash Puka Nacua. He's still very, very good. But someone you can cut. This is fun. Because I've been dogging him since week 1. Week 1, Jerry Jeudy played the Cincinnati Bengals, and he was my favorite smash of the week 1. Then he dropped about 5 footballs. And then he's been bad every single week since. And then yesterday, again, dropping more footballs. Jerry Jeudy is one of these players who we thought he's one of the biggest busts in all of football. He came from Alabama. He was supposed to be the next Julio Jones. He was supposed to be a superstar. Fast forward to 2025, Jerry Jeudy is sitting here averaging 7.3 fantasy points per game, dropping 1,000 balls a game, scoring double-digit points in only 1 game this year out of 6. Jerry Jeudy is this droppable. He's a roster clogger. He's somebody that I want to put on someone else's roster. 1,000%. Meanwhile, Tez Johnson, 2 double-digit games in a row. You guys keep on talking about Tez. Tez Johnson, 2 double-digit games in a row. 10.1 last week, 11.5 this week. He seems to be carving himself a nice role or spot in this Buccaneers offense. And if Emeka's out, Mike Evans is out, Chris Godwin is out, Tez Johnson is going to be talked about on every fantasy show this week regarding waivers and should you start or sit him. So keep an eye out for that this week, as we will be talking about him literally all week. And Fannin, I'll get to Fannin. I'll get to the tight ends right now. Yes, Fannin should be picked up already. He is currently the tight end 12 overall already. He's already the tight end 12 at 15.1 fantasy points yesterday. Njoku left with that knee injury. Fannin's already getting himself targeted. He has a rookie quarterback there. All signs lead to Harold Fannin being the guy in Cleveland. He's someone I want to roster. We will talk about him tomorrow on the waiver show with myself and Charlene, as Justin is out. But again, the tight end position yesterday was kind of weird, kind of funky. This usual suspects were on top. Dallas Goedert, Trey McBride, Warren, Laporta, Michael Mayer off the top rope out of nowhere. Then the bad guys are, of course, the bad guys. Evan Ingram scored 9.9 fantasy points overseas. Mark Andrews is 6.6. He's pretty much done. Hunter Henry, 5.7. Theo Johnson, people were excited for because of that 2-touchdown game. 4.7, came down to earth a little bit. Didn't want to start him against Philadelphia anyway. So that does it for your stinkers and your good guys. We have 2 Monday night games tonight. 2. And I'm not going to cuss about it. I'm not going to yell about it. I'm not going to scream because, guys, it's early enough where I could watch, I guess I could watch half of one and like a quarter of the other. So the first game tonight, we do have Chicago Bears at Washington Commanders. This is going to be a fun game. Caleb Williams is an auto start. Caleb Williams, 1000%. I know you're probably going to start him already. You have no other options because it is Monday night. There's no start sit questions for Caleb Williams. He's scoring 21 fantasy points per game. Him and Odunze have found some kind of chemistry together. Odunze has scored a touchdown in every single game this year. I think that continues. I love this. I love the future of Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze. I think they're going to be special moving forward, and we're just seeing the beginning of it. So those two are auto starts. Jaden Daniels. He's an auto start, but has yet to record a quarterback one weekly finish this year. That's hard to believe, but it's true. He has never finished inside the top 12 this year. That may change tonight. I hope it changes tonight. He's going to have a lot to get done tonight to do that. There were some pretty good quarterback performances this week. So for him to get into the top 12, let me get to that list. He needs to score at least 18.9 fantasy points, as Justin Herbert sitting there with 18.8 as the quarterback 12, tied with Mr. Joe Flacco. So he would need to score at least 18.9 fantasy points to be there. And I hope he can get that done. He should be able to get that done. He should be able to get that done. Who else do we have? Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel is someone that people wanted to write off this season, including myself. He is somebody who's getting the ball, whether it be short throws. He runs every route on the route tree. He's one of their most important players. Back-to-back 20-point fantasy football, or back-to-back 20-point fantasy. Why can't I say this? Back-to-back 20-point fantasy games in the last 2 weeks. I do think he makes it up to 3 in a row. He is their focal point. He is their offense. Role players. Players that I don't really feel comfortable with, but you probably have to start. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. I don't know what to think about this guy. It seems like he's good at football. They just don't want to admit that he's good at football, or maybe he's bad at football. I don't know. They're only giving him 36.6% of the snaps, though. That's no worries on Deebo being questionable. There is worries of Deebo being questionable, but I think Deebo's always questionable. And I think when it comes down to it, he's going to play, but that's something you got to pay attention to as you know, it goes on. We will be posting on our socials. If he plays, he's obviously an auto start. If he doesn't play, we're in a lot of trouble. And I suggest that you find guys like I'm going to talk about a Luther Burden, or not DJ Moore. DJ Moore is unstartable, but someone like a Luther Burden, a home run hitter. That's who I'd like to put in that role if you can, if you have to. And guys, just remember, we do have another game. We have 2 games tonight, so we have extra players that we could talk about, especially the Josh Allen, or the Buffalo Bills and the Falcons. They have players we can start as well. So there is options at least for that. But JCM, I guess that's his name. People call him Bill. I'm going to call him JCM. I think that he's coming off a multi-touchdown week against the Chargers. He had 16 touches, 150 yards. It'd be silly to keep him off the field. Not sure why they're only giving him less than 40% of the snaps. It seems like he is a true player in this offense. I would start him, but I would be kind of like, it could be 4, could be 20 points. We don't know. And DeAndre Swift, man, he's got the snaps. He's getting the carries. He's getting the touches. He just doesn't, they're just not getting it done on the ground. DeAndre Swift is not Jahmyr Gibbs. DeAndre Swift is not David Montgomery. They don't have a Sonic and Knuckles like they did in Detroit. Ben Johnson needs to rebuild this whole running back room because these are not getting it done. But the bottom line is DeAndre Swift is getting the carries, 66.7% snap share. He's getting 77% of the opportunities at the running back position on this football team. So he's a must start, but do not expect anything crazy. It's gross. Like, it's just beyond gross. But let me ask you guys this for those watching. What game are you looking forward to the most? The Bills Falcons or the Washington Commanders and the Chicago Bears? Because I'm not going to lie to you. I'm more excited for the Buffalo Bills and the Atlanta Falcons. I think it's more star power. I think it's going to be a more not competitive game per se, but more fireworks. I always like to see Kyle Pitts struggle and play, but Kyle Pitts has been good this season or decent this season. But Josh Allen, auto start, we don't need to talk about him. Bijan Robinson, auto start, we don't need to talk about him. Running back one every single week this year. James Cook coming off a very, very poor game last week. Auto start, not worried. We do not need to talk about him. What we need to talk about is Drake London. Drake London had a very slow start. 9.96 fantasy points per game. But he had a massive week 4, 8 catches, 110 yards, and a touchdown. They're going to have to score points to keep up with Buffalo and Josh Allen and Dalton Kincaid in this offense. I think Drake London is the key to success tonight. I think if Michael Penix can get his accuracy on point and can stay clean in the pocket and actually find throwing lanes for Drake London, this is going to be a massive game for Mr. Drake London. I do like him more than his Michael Penix's other options out there. I do think that Bijan Robinson does have potential to be bottled up through the running game, but could get open in the passing game. I just think Drake London is interesting to talk about because I've seen people get down on him this year because of the slow start. Some people just start slow. Drake London is an elite athlete on this team, and he's proven it last year. He finished in the top 10. If he has games like last week or the week before they were on bye, he's also going to finish in the top 10 again. But Dalton Kincaid is very, very funny and tricky, and I don't know what to think about him. If we think Quentin Johnson can break out into third year, why can't Dalton Kincaid finally break out ever? He's already hit his career high in touchdowns in a single season. 3. That's right. His previous seasons, he scored 2 touchdowns each. This season, let's go, baby. 3, he's already there. He's already halfway to his total catches and yardage from last season. I'm not ready to put him in auto start territory, but his star is rising in that offense. Back in my day, tight ends used to take 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 years to progress. Not everyone's going to come in and be Brock Bowers or Trey McBride. Not everyone's going to get it right away like a Harold Fannin. That's for you, Will. Dalton Kincaid has become necessary for this offense to grow and to move the football down the field. I think Dalton Kincaid could possibly in the future be the Travis Kelce for this team. Not saying Travis Kelce, the person that moves the offense down the field while you have secondary players like your Khalil Shakirs or your Keon Coleman's from week 1. Haven't heard that name in a long time. That's what you need. You need that focal point. And Dalton Kincaid is really, really getting there. Should be high scoring one, need London to outscore Kincaid. That's possible. That's going to happen. Yeah, that's a wild stat. Dalton Kincaid, career high, baby, 3 touchdowns. Another tight end that we can talk about, Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts hasn't produced this much since his rookie season where he caught 100 footballs. And we thought Kyle Pitts was going to be a thing forever. And then things happened. Kyle Pitts went, I need more. I need more from Kyle Pitts. I'm not ready for the heartache. I'm not ready to buy in on this guy again just to get broken down. It's kind of like the girlfriend or the boyfriend that leaves you constantly, but they call you back in the middle of the night. You up? Yes, yes, yes. Come over now. Yes, right. just for a couple weeks later for that person just to break your heart again. But let's be honest, he's getting targeted this year. He's had 5 or more targets in each game this season. His yardage needs to go up. He had 70 yards last week against Washington, right? 18 points. He was tight end 3 last week. It's early, guys. But he's also up and down. He played Minnesota, plummeted. Played Carolina, plummeted. Played Washington and Tampa Bay. It's good news, right? So Kyle Pitts this week, if we need to start him, again, don't get too set on him. Do not get your hopes up for him, but he is becoming a weapon for this offense. Oh, that's going to do it, guys. Thank you for watching the show, guys. I apologize. I'm telling you, it's a cold front has come through Tampa Bay, and everyone has been put on notice. It took me an hour to get to school and back this morning for the kids, which usually takes about 20 minutes. We don't know how to handle the cold. We don't know how to do it. If you have any tips from me on how to stay warm through this grueling cold front where it's nearly 68 degrees right now, please let me know. Join our Discord, chat.fantasynowplus.com. Hit us up on our website, fantasynowplus.com. Make sure you follow the guys at the Fins Talk Sports Network. Those are great guys over there. Bobby Melendez, Finn Stanza. Those guys do a great job at breaking down the Miami Dolphins and their, of course, head coach at the moment, who they're all calling for to have their heads be cut off. But JR, thank you so much. I will stay warm. I'm going to layer up. I'm going to get my Snuggie on. I'm going to stay warm while I type on my computer and work my little office job. I got the heater on. Guys, it's going to be a cold winter, so stay hot out there. Until next week, well, until tomorrow, where I'm live again with Charlene. I'll see you then, guys. Peace out.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you watch or listen to podcasts. We'll be back next week for more ways to win your league.